Soul Garden.
Hello my heroes and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host to the universe, Christopher Witecki. Welcome back. This week's free horoscope is sponsored by yours truly. It's that time of year again, you know, where I throw a little special, March Madness I call it. Right now if you buy a 1-hour reading with me, I will give you a free 30-minute follow-up sometime in 2012. And hurry, I book up pretty quickly, but believe it or not, the last week of March is open, totally open. So it's from March through April. It's one of those things they do fill up. We keep this open for the retrograde. So worst case scenario, I'll be seeing you sometime in June. And come on down to soulgarden.me. We have a whole community of support for you. Little sprouts is what we're calling new people that show up. We got a little icon we're going to put in their little profile. It's kind of cute because we're all raising our soul garden together. Bernadette Morgan is the Zodiac Director for Aries, and right now we are looking for an Aries writer to contribute, or Aries writers, or other generals that want to help manage all of our rams. So if you're interested, reach out to Bernadette. She's the one that's been writing all these cool articles underneath me. I think right now she's debating psychic versus reality in this week's episode, or this week's rambling. She calls it rambling. Is that what? Yeah, she calls it a rambling. Isn't that cute? Anyways, come on down, come on down and give us a visit. Mercury is retrograde, by the way, and that is actually one of our first things we're going to talk about this week as we take our final chapter in Pisces. The Rams have been doing inner faith building all month long, and the universe has had a lot to contribute to that matter. The first thing I want to point out, though, is my new Psychic with Texts. For those of you who are watched over by GA, incidentally, I'm sending out Psychic with Texts, and some of you have written me back or replied back and asked what it's about. Just answer the question. It is leading up to something to help you, all right? Just have to kind of go with me. This is what we call being watched over, which means I'm watching over and I've got something planned, so keep those answers handy. Now, the Arieses are starting off the week with a breakdown. By the way, my apologies for being late. Mercury is the reason, but Monday's a breakdown and Mercury goes retrograde. What this comes down to is a day of Uranus. The final breakthrough of the season is what we're talking about. So hopefully this is breakdown, breakthrough. A real quick revelation on Monday, understanding where it is you don't have faith in yourself, why you don't have faith in yourself, maybe where you stopped having faith in yourself. It's one of those private revelations. With the moon in Scorpio, your emotions are focused on boundaries and trust issues. And with Mercury going retrograde in Aries, you're going to find that you go polar. So if you're normally very outspoken, you get quiet. If you're normally very quiet, suddenly you're outspoken. Is the reverse, where the devil's advocate of the mind becomes the forefront and vice versa. All right, so we see people's other side or other thinking, and that's the whole point. And yes, cell phones stop working and text messages. But let me tell you, when things stop working, pay attention. If you're reaching out to call your mom and it doesn't go through, don't call her. That's what the universe is saying. It's stopping the communication. I wasn't meant to come out with the horoscopes till Tuesday. Hey, we tried. So let's talk about Tuesday. Monday, breakdown. Tuesday, breakthrough. I'm predicting this is the time where people will begin to understand exactly what this is all about. The moon progresses up to Sagittarius, so emotions go to self-reflection. As of Tuesday, you're kind of replaying the whole month, replaying your life. This is more the soap drama of our lives. This might be you wanting to take a break. It's certainly a good time to take a little break, to unplug from technology or unplug from the world on Tuesday if you can. Notice the soul pyramid. This is all building up to the second holy shift of Pisces, which will be on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the next day that I report on. Part of it is all this. Venus and Jupiter coming together, which is going to be an apex moment for you to receive what? Abundance or self-confidence. Okay? Now, if you haven't got a solid self-confidence, you will receive that first. Then comes affirmation from the universe matching your soul capital. But this is good news coming up. Mercury retrograde means you're starting to think differently, starting to think inside out, reconsidering other affirmations you might have made. And with the sun moving forward, you're all the while building faith. This is going to be a big little epicenter next week when the sun moves into Aries and conjuncts Uranus at 3 degrees. Pretty intense, actually 4 degrees. Then let's move on to the big Holy Shift Day. Holy Shift Day, woohoo, look at this, light up like a Christmas tree. This is where all these planets come to an exact synchronicity for a period of time of 9 degrees. I will tell you, Aries, and only you, Aries, 9 is the number of Aries. All right, so this is an Aries day. Don't tell everyone, they'll get jealous. But Aries day means it's time to act. What it means for you, Ram, is on the one hand, Venus rules the day, so you are finally maybe feeling at one with spirit on Wednesday. You're feeling maybe some peace. You're finally starting to get some faith in yourself. You're starting to get exactly what this Pisces transit is. So that's a nice premise. The moon is in Sagittarius, so emotionally you'll be very philosophical and open to new ideas. So the universe has set you up to learn. The big learning deals with two areas. One, Venus and Jupiter coming together. It is time to receive your fortune. That begins with receiving self-confidence. Like I just said it a minute ago, if you can't feel like £1,000,000, you will not manifest £1,000,000. But then, check it out, Mars, your ruling planet, which is really the key to all of this. To pull off your abundance, you're going to have to reconsider an action in your daily life. That's the key. And this is the point when you'll actually consider it, was when Mars goes to this 9th degree, when everything lights up in total Aries fashion. You can't get more of a parade saying, go for it, Aries. Now, only you know what Mars is. Only you know what the universe is trying to hint to you to react or to change or to do differently. It's probably something you thought was solid. So maybe you moved ahead and decided you're going to be, a nutritionist just 6 months ago. And now suddenly you're like, I think I have to undo the nutrition thing to be able to get where my real fortune is. Be willing to reconsider old actions. And of course, if you're watched over by GA and myself, I'll be texting heavily on this particular day, coaching you through it. And if you're part of the GA Alert Network, we'll be sending out some courtesy alerts on Wednesday to make sure you pull this one off in your favor. And we do have the graphic up. How about that? Now, moving on to Thursday. Thursday is a day right after the holy shift of Wednesday. Thursday is literally a holy day. It's a Neptune day. You're going to be logging into your higher self. This is where you really allow it all to come together, higher self to lower. In other words, you are adjusting to a change in your daily life, right? That's what the Mars issue is. Why? Because you want to collect your paycheck, the abundance. The Pluto period of this, by the way, means that you're stepping out of an old career and into a new. You're stepping out of an old career era and into a new. So it's likely an entirely new career era. Okay, and intuiting on Wednesday is, on Thursday is getting God's sign off, making sure your guides are okay with it. I'll send out some text to help you with that as well. And you might actually take that action. If you decided to undo and redo an action in the past, you definitely want to take that action by Friday. By the way, we do have office hours on Thursday and on Tuesday at soulgarden.me. This is a free public service to our viewers. It is at 11 a.m. Pacific time, that is, and you have to kind of calculate where you are, all the way to 7 in London, 9 in Honolulu, etc. But come on down. We have some practitioners giving out some 5-minute free advice. You do need a webcam. Moving on to Friday. Friday, things really start to wrap up in a nice bow. It's time to decide and commit to an inner faith, to a spirituality. This is a faith that you can pull it off. This is a faith that only you and your Creator can share. That's really what this whole month has been about. So it's time to commit. Uranus now reaches 4 degrees by Friday. Why is that interesting? I'll tell you why. It's interesting because Uranus 4 degrees was, the last time Uranus was at 4 degrees, the stock market crashed, triggering the world depression. So this is an interesting degree that I'll be monitoring carefully in the next 4 weeks. Those of you who have money in stocks, I would just maybe use your intuition and guides at this point. Something of false ego is going to be collapsing likely in the next 6 weeks on a mass scale. For you, that means any false ego on your that you put out will be collapsing in the next 4 weeks. With Mercury retrograde, so you're already rethinking ego anyways. But if you think about this from a totally optimistic perspective, if you just found a new faith in yourself, then yes, the old facade must come down. You need a new ego to match this, and just in time. Thanks, Jackhammer Uranus. One last thing about Friday. The moon will cross over and be sectoring through Pluto, so you'll be releasing and letting go on Thursday and Friday, that attachment to the old career, to the old legacy, to the old statue of you that you've got to now take down in the backyard so you can make room for the new, bigger statue of you. Right, Aries? Also, come on down and join us for SG Live on Friday. Carolyn Engel and myself will be on talking psychic awareness for the last time. We've been talking grand psychics and connecting to your psychic energy and really using SG Live to connect to our people and to get deeper on this month's topic. So Chris Onefeather will likely be joining us, and we'll be logging into Neptune and Pisces. And of course, you want to find out what's about you and your psychic ability. That's on an SG Primetime, 11 a.m. Pacific. You do the math. Then on Saturn Day, going to be a pretty good weekend, really. Mars rules the day on Saturday, so Saturday's about okay. Whatever you've committed to, let's do it. Let's take action. Interesting thing, a square begins, a very powerful square between Pluto and this sun and this big party going on here in Pisces, then Aries. This square is a fear. You're going to have to eradicate fear between your ego and your old ideas of strength and whatever it meant to be part of the old career. So in the old career, if you were a lawyer and you're now trying to be a musician, you've got a lot of hang-ups and fears to break apart from going from lawyer to musician. You've got a lot of ego change to go from lawyer to musician. You've got a lot of interfaith building to go from lawyer to musician. Magician, same thing if you're watching this show. The point is, you're going to have to start getting rid of these fears and facing these fears. The sooner you face them, the better you are. All right? I'm going to say that over and over again. So Saturn Day is a real day of facing those fears. Mercury retrograde conjuncting Uranus dead at 4 degrees on this day. So if there's an inner stock market crash for you, it might be indeed on Saturday, but it was all false stock anyways, all right? Sunday, we do kind of slide into home plate. It's just kind of classic the way God and the planets tend to work this way. On Sunday, we'll hold space in this new kind of energy. The moon will shift into Aquarius, so your emotions will shift to more friends, social life, being out there, putting yourself out there. Really what's happening is you're wrapping up your inner faith on Sunday, and beginning of next week, you're going to finish this and move into your birthday period. So I hope you are doing the inner work, Aries, and stepping into that new inner faith. All right, well, that wraps up this 7-day forecast. Be sure to come on down to soulgarden.me. You are always welcome. And, of course, hop on this reading sale if you're interested at soulmart.me. And maybe I'll see you at office hours or at SGLI. But either way, in the next week, live, love, be.